So you said that you're saddened. Let me throw this out again. Danny McClain with us of colorschange.org. Let me ask a political question, and you're the campaign organizer or the campaign manager over there. Now, was it ever discussed in your organization that with Van Jones as prominently featured on the website as he is, that he could end up being a casualty? Did you all ever consider that?
No, because our focus was on what Beck had said about the president, and because we didn't know that Beck had been had mentioned Van on his show a couple of times, it didn't occur to us.
I see.
To be quite
honest.
I mean, we didn't know. We were focused.
No, I appreciate you being honest. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were focused on how ridiculous his statements were about Obama, and so no, I mean, it didn't occur to us that he would be so kind of cowardly and just kind of nasty in the way that he's carried this out.
It didn't occur to you that he would be nastier than he already was.
Right. We expect the race baiting and the fear mongering and the basically trying to pass lies off as journalism, but this was just really a low blow.
Any regrets as a result?
Not at all. And our campaign, as I mentioned, continues to move forward. I mean, that's really our focus is on pointing out how troubling it is that we have somebody like him on the air, presenting himself as a journalist. So no, our work is far from done. We need to make sure that all companies would feel embarrassed having their brands associated with him. And so no regrets at all. We continue to forge ahead.
Now, before we go to the phones, are there any companies that stand out, prominent brands that stand out that you have that have had pressure placed upon them that have yet to pull out and that you want to highlight right now?
That's a great question. Let me see. Okay. We have had some problems with Red Lobster has not been very responsive to us. In fact, they haven't been responsive to us at all.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
R-E-D. Just kidding. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let's see. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to call this out. Now,
let me just say for clarity, folks, as a talk show host myself, it is I'm not in a position to encourage or organize boycotts, but I am in a position to let Danny come on and do it as much as she wants to. And when she sells the names, I'm also authorized to spell them for those who don't get them. So that's how we're going to do this. Go ahead, Danny. Red REDLOBSTER. Keep going. I'm ready.
And I should be clear, we are not calling on people to boycott these companies.
Right.
What we're calling on is for people to call these companies and let them know, I actually really enjoy your product. I would like to keep supporting you, until you move your ad dollars away from Beck, I can't do that. Good point.
So Red Lobster.
Yeah. National Geographic advertised on there yesterday, but they're new advertisers, so we are in the process of reaching out to them now. I'm going to just kind of hold off because we've actually been very, very successful, and I don't want to misspeak, so I won't. Thank you for the opportunity to do that, but I'm not in a position to do that right now.
Okay, well, no, that's fine. But let me just say this: now that you mentioned it, what Red Lobster's on there. I'm trying to figure out what National Geographic's doing on it. That's bizarre myself.
Yeah. We remain confident that once we establish good, conversation with them, that they'll see the light.
You might want to take a look at the ad rates nowadays too. They might have gone down enough for people to want to advertise.
Exactly.
That's strange.
I can't imagine. I mean, that's an important point. Is that just to kind of repeat what you said, it's simple supply and demand. There's little demand for ad time on his show these days that, it must be a good deal for those who are still willing to be associated.
And National Geographic usually has a pretty cerebral audience.
Absolutely.
I don't think they would be looking at Glenn Beck. Okay, but anyway.
Like I said, they're a new advertiser, so we haven't yet initiated a meaningful conversation with them yet. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Danny McClain, colorchange.org. Let's get a couple of calls in. Let's see. Ed is on the Ed. I don't see where are you calling from, Ed?
Oh, calling from Alexandria, Virginia. How you doing, Mark?
Fine, thank you, Ed. God bless you. You're on there with Danny McClain of colorofchange.org.
Yeah, hi, Danny. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Great. I'm just calling to make a comment. I really don't have a question. I'm actually a conservative, and I just happened to flip on you guys on XM and came across. Just thought I'd listen to what was going on. I left for a few minutes, and I I actually, there's one thing I actually completely agree with you guys on. I probably don't agree with you guys on much, but I do agree that Glenn Beck is not a journalist, and he actually makes intelligent conservatives, intelligent, simple, good, very. He just makes us sound like we're complete kooks.
Right.
And we're not. He makes us sound like we are absolute nut jobs. So,
yeah,
I just wanted to get that in.
Thank you for saying that. I mean, I want to be clear that we don't really see this as a partisan issue. We're not coming at this as, lefties. We're coming at it as people who believe that meaningful political dialogue in this country deserves good information, and that is not something that Glenn Beck provides his viewers. So.
Well, yeah, no, and I absolutely agree with you. We should be able to have a discussion and a dialogue, and he does not do that. So, thanks a lot.
But let me ask you this though, Ed, even as a conservative, would you be willing to join Color of Change's effort in reaching out to those who spend their money with Glenn Beck?
Mark, I suppose I would, but I got to be honest with you. I just had flipped to you guys as I was. I tuned into the right channel, and Mark Levin was on. He's another guy I don't really like listening to, but so I flipped over to you guys. I really didn't hear the whole thing, but I'll take a look at it when I get home.
Colorofchange.org.
Great. Thanks a lot, guys.
Check it out. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. 866-99-SIRIUS. Dan's in Virginia, too. Dan, God bless you. Go right ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, I think Color Change is doing an important service because the Obama administration doesn't seem to want to do their own. You look at the Van Jones situation. Basically, it started with Glenn Beck hitting Obama about the czars, right? 34 czars.
Right. They're coming after all these so-called czars.
Right. Well, guess what I found out last night?
What?
That means Obama has allowed Beck to hit him over the head with this issue for 6 months. The czars were all created. Obama did not create one of those positions.
Right.
Those were all positions that were created by other presidents and filled.
Mm-hmm.
He created the image that Obama created all this shadow government of advisors, and then that led to the whole radical deal, which led to Van Jones. See, it was Obama not what he does on issue after issue. He doesn't respond to his critics, which leads to a casualty. I mean, you go to the birth certificate. 53% of Virginians believe that Obama was not born in this country.
Really? That many?
That's right. So guess what? The Cray Deeds is going to lose for governor because Obama won't just walk into the well of the Senate, get an expert with his birth certificate, and authenticate it in front of.
Well, I mean, without people think he shouldn't validate that, though, Dan. I mean, you don't. He shouldn't have to do that.
But if you don't validate it, it becomes truth. That's the fight. I mean, that's politics. It's not beanbag. If at least have some way authenticate the birth certificate and create.
It's been released. The birth certificate has been released. I mean, we've seen the birth certificate, Dan. How many other? There's really not a whole lot else to do.
But if Craig Overman standing there with the copy saying this is the value. You know what I mean? Get somebody who actually, nonpartisan, a mediator.
It's been done. The Vital Records Department, listen, this is what they do because they just won't accept it. Thank you for your call, Dan. Dan, it's just like saying the president is a racist. Mm-hmm. I mean, that has no foundation or root in anything. It even mischaracterizes and misdefines the definition of racism. Right. And that's why I commend you all for standing up. In my view, calling the president a racist is racist itself. Just like calling him a Nazi is a Nazi move. And Republicans do that. They do projection. Bush goes AWOL, and then Bush and Rove accuse John Kerry of not serving his country honorably. They do that reverse kind of projection thing. So by Beck calling Obama a racist, he was, to me, simply revealing that's what he is.